So you want to win more gunfights. I'm going to tell you just how to do that. Usually in a panic, you'll double tap square or X to accidentally throw your weapon, possibly in a fight or just running from zombies. This is a common problem, especially for new players. I would recommend using the new controller scheme. This changes the button to L1 and square to throw or LB and X to throw. That'll stop you from accidentally throwing your weapon every now and again. Another reason is because you can zoom while free looking and be more aware of your surroundings, getting you better awareness before a fight actually ensues. A lot of your experience will come from practicing in gunfights. A great way to do that is to practice in deathmatch servers on the community tab. You can practice using my deathmatch server, which is right here, or you can watch my gun mechanics video, which is right here. Some other deathmatch servers that I recommend on PS5 are the Blood and Bone deathmatch server. The Prison Breakout servers are also great for that. It's very hectic chaos, or just look up deathmatch on community and you'll be able to find all sorts of deathmatch servers. These things will help you get better and more comfortable with all the sorts of guns that you're going to be using and get you better handling on what is to come in a gunfight. Notice in gunfights, if you're over swinging, turn down your aim sensitivity. If you're under swinging, turn it up a little bit. Be sure not to change these settings too much. If you're changing them every 5-10 minutes, then you'll never get used to your settings and you'll never see yourself getting better. Another thing to note is that your camera sensitivity is the way you're looking, and your aim sensitivity is when you're holding L2, whether that's scoped or not. At the end of this video, I will show you my setup, so you can maybe start with my settings and then adjust them from there, but we'll get to that later. Notice your mistakes, fine-tune them, find out what's working for you, try it on deathmatch servers. I would recommend playing maybe 10 minutes of a deathmatch server before you jump into official, just to get you warmed up. But yeah, notice your mistakes, you'll get better fine-tuned controls from there. This goes without saying, the more time you spend playing the game, the more you'll pick up on and how to adjust your settings accordingly. It also depends on your game style or your gameplay, which brings me to my next point. If you're on PS4, you might notice that you drop down to like 5 frames per second in the middle of a gunfight. That's not going to help you learn, and it's just going to get you frustrated. Learn what your weaknesses are, learn what your strengths are. If you're on PS4, I'd recommend staying long range. It calls on for a lot less lag, a lot less power from your PS4. If you can't snipe to save your life, then maybe run with an SMG or a shotgun or even an assault rifle. If you want to play stealthy, put on a ghillie suit, play long range or short range. I've seen people in ghillie suits just hiding in bushes near military bases just for gunfights. Regardless, find out what your playstyle is, go off of that, and do your best to fine-tune all your little mistakes. I don't see this on console enough. Especially when you're out in the wide open. Leaning can avoid one-shot kills to the head, and they can help you survive in a split-second notice. I do see a lot of people leaning indoors or around buildings. I've seen that plenty. And I also know that it's difficult leaning on console. So to lean on console, you hold L2 or left trigger, and you press the bumpers either L1 or R1 or LB or RB. It is tough pressing the left trigger and the left bumper with both hands, so either use 2 fingers to try to lean more, get used to that, or just spam the right leaning button while you're shooting, while you're fighting. Leaning in the middle of fights, especially when caught in open territory, is super uncommon on console, and it's going to make you just a little bit harder to hit. But if you practice it enough, it could become muscle memory, and the next thing you know, you could be a god on console. I don't recommend copying my setup, but I do recommend maybe starting with these controls, see where that takes you, or start with these controls and see how you can adjust it to your liking. So on my controls, I do have aim assist enabled. I was actually thinking recently that I might want to disable this. I kind of don't like being dragged towards zombies. This is only 4 zombies really, it's not 4 players. It does help a little bit, it doesn't really help that much. But if you like it, enable it, disable it, whatever, it doesn't make that much of a difference. Otherwise, vertical movement and horizontal movement I have at 20. This is so that way I'm not accidentally stepping forward or backwards during fights, just because if I'm in a panic, I might be gripping my controller tighter than I would have ever wanted to. Vehicle I have all the way down because I just think that the vehicle steering is just so sensitive, so I have it all the way down to 1. I don't like it on 0 because that's too low. Left and right dead zone. I like these on 0 because I have a special controller that I'll show you in just a minute. I can adjust the dead zones as I'd like. Again, this is something that you might want to put up to like between 5 and 10 if you're using a regular PS5 controller, according to your stick drift. Camera vertical, horizontal, and curvature. I like the curvature all the way to 100. I tested this out by putting it to 100, playing for a few minutes, see how it felt, and then I put the camera curvature all the way down to 0, and then I play for 5-10 minutes and see how that feels. And if I like it more to 0, then I'll probably keep it there, or if I like it more to 100, then I'll probably keep it there and adjust it accordingly. I would recommend doing the same. Camera horizontal, I really like being able to swing around and look left and right fairly quicker than I aim, especially because I'm not shooting at somebody when I'm not aiming. So I like to be able to whip around if I need to. Camera vertical, I don't really look up and down as much as I do left and right, so I just have that significantly lower. Aiming vertical, I have at 5. Aiming horizontal, I have at 3, because by the time I am aiming, I usually have somebody within a certain distance of my screen. It's very rare that I'm aiming and I have to sweep far to the right or far to the left. It's very fine-tune adjustments when I am aiming at somebody or scoping somebody with a sniper or whatever gun I'm using. I have vertical higher than horizontal just because of the gun control, and the gun recoil is fairly high in DayZ. I'm assuming that's more realistic than some other games. So for me to keep the recoil to a controlled level, I have aiming vertical at 5. I want it fairly close to horizontal, so that way it's not like I'm looking up and down constantly, like faster than I am left and right. And then of course I have my curvature at 100 as well, again because that's how I like it. For my controller, I'm using Sony's PS5 DualSense Edge wireless controller. I do have the Control Freak high rise on there, or it might be a mid rise, I'm not sure. I can customize the dead zone to a T. I can change the slope, I can change the buttons around. This controller also comes with back buttons, these back bumpers. These I use for leaning left and right. Particularly because leaning left and right on a console is so difficult. This makes it a lot easier for me to lean left and right, especially with one on each side, so I can just use my middle finger. Otherwise, this controller also has great stick drift prevention. The analog sticks actually pop out, and I can buy new analog sticks for very cheap if they do start to get stick drift. Well, there you go. That's my setup. Hopefully these tips can help you get better at gunfights. Let me know if they do, or if you have other tips down in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Stay wet.